All right, and we are ready to go with our first run of day 3 here. Get ready for some Link's Awakening DX by Astronomus. Take it away.
Hey, what's up? It's me, Astronomus, running The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening DX. Any percent, no wrong warps or out of bounds. I have my commentator here, TGH. Would you like to introduce
Hello.
yourself?
Yo, what's up? I'm TGH. I'm introducing myself on my own channel. Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm TGH. I also run this game, and this run is pretty fun. So buckle up.
Yeah. So, without further ado, I think we'll be starting in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, so just to start off, let's explain what wrong warping and out of bounds is, because, well, obviously out of bounds is not going out of the normal playing area, but this game's a little bit more complicated because there are some places where we go that are not exactly the most intended ways of getting there, but we have limitations on that. So we have a whole rule set that you could write basically a thesis on, but just to kind of boil it down, you cannot go more than one tile outside of the accessible area, and anything more than that considers you out of bounds. And then wrong warping is not doing stuff like the doghouse glitch where you go into the backs of transitions and enter the glitched world.
Yeah, the other actual stipulation of out of bounds, or the only real relevant point where this is after Dungeon 6. But so basically, you also can't transition screens while more than 3 pixels clipped into a wall. And again, that's only relevant at about one point in the run.
Yeah, and then there's another point that it can happen, but like you have to actually try to make it happen.
Yeah,
anyways,
exactly.
now we gotta farm 10 rupees, but to make that a little bit easier, I'm gonna be holding out my shield while collecting these rupees, and what that's going to do is that's gonna give it a chance to duplicate the rupees, and I'm just gonna take this here. And so it makes what is normally really, really annoying grinding, it makes it still annoying, but slightly less annoying. Wow, what a drought. Beach was a homie for a bit.
The game was being way too nice on the beach. You even got a rupee on the tile, like to the right of Link's house. That never happens.
Yeah.
By the way, there's a flashing lights warning coming up here. So those of you who are epileptic prone, definitely look away here.
Yeah, that'll be hopefully the last time. There's like only one other time that it can happen, but it'll be good. All right. So now I just stole the shovel so that I can buy these bombs here. Well, not really buy, because essentially what happens is that I save and quit the frame after I purchase them, and what happens is you still get them, because you get them the frame that you purchased them, but if you save and quit right afterwards, the game doesn't have an opportunity to take your rupees, so we can just get them for free, basically. And that allows us to get 2 packs and then use the 10 rupees for this trendy game to get powder.
Yeah.
Which only has 1 use ever in the run.
Yep, the only point we need them for is to gain access to Dungeon 2 proper.
Yeah. Well, just like the first room of Dungeon 2. Like if we were able to skip that room or find a way to activate that door without using powder, that would be huge. Yeah, let's see if I get it. No, I don't. Okay. So
we entered that door, by the way. We entered Madame Meow Meow's house to just set a save point.
Yeah, setting a save point. So every time you change submaps, the game will log that, and then on your next save and quit, it will send you to that location, and we can use that to basically travel a bit faster than we would be able to on foot.
Yep. So now what Astra's doing is, there we go. That's called a bomb trigger right there. So that actually saves only a couple of seconds because ordinarily you can just go up and powder the raccoon or Tanuki to make it transform back into Terran. However, we can instantly do that transformation with a bomb trigger. What the bomb trigger is is so basically when you plant 2 bombs on the screen in quick succession, 2 within 4 frames of each other, like, or within active frames, I should say. By active frames, I mean frames that are not during a transition or during a menu. When you plant 2 active bombs, when you plant 2 bombs like that, it thinks you're firing a bomb arrow, which is tech that we'll see later. And since there's no arrow on the screen, it just kind of it tries to activate the first sprite, or the first sprite that it sees on the screen, and that happens to be a cutscene a lot of the time. So we can actually instantly activate cutscenes without having the requisites for them, and that'll come in way more handy later on. It'll save us way more time with some other applications.
Yeah. Also, that gel literally jumping at the one time that I can't actually shoot it. Absolutely
Nice
fantastic. But yeah, this is Dungeon 1. Honestly, a pretty fun dungeon. Has a lot of really cool movement. But it houses the most important item in the entire game, and basically our bread and butter item for getting hit. Our bread and butter item for basically half the tricks in this game, the Rock's Feather, and it allows you to jump. Now that is quite the thing that the game will let you do, especially this early on. So, just to show off why it is such a beautiful item, so majestic, so stable. Yeah, that's called a super jump. If you are clipped 1 to 3 pixels into a wall, then face up against the wall, then jump and change your direction in midair, the game will think you are jumping at the top of that ledge, and you can just jump super far with that.
Yep.
And that is basically why we have an out of bounds rule set, because that can happen. And you can get out of bounds with that very easily, quite literally anywhere that has a ledge. And it just so happens the dungeons are made of completely of ledges.
Yeah, pretty much. And you mentioned clipping into a wall 1 to 3 pixels. That is actually very easy to do. All you need to do is just walk into it from the side, and you can do that. You can't do it straight on, you can't just walk into a wall perpendicular to it. You have to walk in parallel to it in order to clip.
Yeah, you can technically do super jumps if you have a perfect 0, 0 subpixel, but that's never gonna happen.
Yeah, that's basically RNG dependent. So yeah, as we're
we got a little break period here.
Yeah, as we're basically walking and jumping from Dungeon 1 up towards where Dungeon 2 is, our lovely host Argic, if you'd like to plug anything about the charity or why we're doing this event, that would be awesome if you could.
Of course, thank you very much. I can also say that we have a donation coming in.
Oh.
We have a $37.59 donation from Ann A with absolutely no comment, but it does have an intention. We have now raised $2,469.69.
Who was that?
Andy K.
Oh my goodness. Nice.
Nice.
Nice. Astra, since I'm not sure you can see the donation total, that got us to $2,469.69.
Perfect.
Yes. Thank you very much.
So here we are in the Moblin Cave fighting the Moblin King. This fight is actually kind of RNG because we want him to shoot 2 arrows each cycle, but sometimes he'll shoot 3, 4, or even 5. And so sometimes this fight can just lose you 4 seconds because he decided to do 5 arrows on both cycles. But the average is 3 and 3. So this is fine. Then coming up is a little text clip here. I'm gonna clip into this wall, then interact with it diagonally, and then I can just clip through like that. Beautiful. And then bow out 8. Yes!
Nice. That text clip, by the way, was also partially subpixel dependent as well. There are times when it just rejects you.
Yeah.
You can just not make it through.
Yeah, but luckily we got it first try, and Bow Wow actually ate relatively quickly. So Bow Wow, his eating habits can be influenced by what's on screen and their location relative to him on the screen, but he never has a 100% chance of eating something unless he's like basically right next to it. The issue is with a lot of the instances that we want him to eat, he is not right next to it. So we have to basically just rely on what he's feeling like that day. Luckily, he was feeling it.
Yeah, Bow Wow can be either our best friend or our worst enemy in this run.
Yeah.
More on that later.
Oh yeah. So yeah, we just one-shot or two-shot that Hinox with the bow and basically defeated the boss before the music even played. And now we're gonna leave.
I'm shooting both of those boo buddies off of the screen with one arrow is nice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And-
so now we're gonna leave because it saves about somewhere between 4 and 6 seconds to split Dungeon 2 into 2 parts and leave the latter part for when we have the boots and magic rod and other very useful items. L2 bracelet
Hookshot.
is something that technically saves time.
Oh yeah, because of picking up pots and stuff.
Yeah. You do pick up pots faster with the L2 bracelet. Coming up, we're actually going to be doing a trick called Villa Skip. It does exactly what the trick
Oh, hello.
does exactly what its namesake implies. So we skip basically the entirety of Richard's side quests, where he makes you go to Candlelight Castle and get the 5 golden leaves and whatnot. We do this by pausing on the same frame that we fall into a hole, and what that will do is when we unpause, we will basically gravitate towards the bottom of the screen.
Oh.
And that was a really nice Villa Skip right there.
Yeah, and then
you are able to transition to the next screen. Like that. So you can just skip the entirety of that side quest, and that saves like minutes upon minutes.
Very many minutes.
Yes.
Wow, I just can't stay out of these pits, huh? Please.
This is the curse of the 2-buffer villa.
Yeah. As soon as you get good RNG, you just can't play well. It's great. Fantastic.
We are about to enter Dungeon 3, which is honestly probably one of the more tech-heavy parts of the run.
Yeah, it's probably one of the dungeons that like has the least downtime of any dungeon. Like there's constantly something happening.
Yeah, for sure. We've got tricks like the Dodongo Skip and also French Press.
Yep. Oh.
We'll get to those when we come to them.
Okay, so now I'm going to be killing a bunch of enemies here. 1, because it's required, and 2, because I'm going to be setting up for getting a specific drop later in the dungeon called the Piece of Power. And what that's going to allow me to do is that it's going to, 1, make me move faster at 1.25 times speed, but it's also going to allow me to do double the damage with my sword. And what that'll do is that can make fighting the boss later way faster than you would normally be able to do.
Yep, and there it is.
Yep.
So now we're coming up on Dodongo Skip, which involves a super jump and an immediate clink off of one of the Dodongos out of the arena, just like that. And we can just skip that fight completely, and then super jump across and grab our boots, which allow us to move super fast. And here we have French Press, which involves
I barely made that.
another super jump and clink off of a Stalfos with the shield, which actually is a lot more tricky because it involves turning in midair, which is not as easy as it sounds while doing a super jump. You need to actually use your sword to do that. And we do the Dodongo Skip one more time, and we are basically almost done with Dungeon 3 already.
Yeah. We
Beautiful
skip
dungeon.
needing 2 of the keys. Oh, I forgot to equip boots again. I almost hard reset, and that would have been really bad. But it's fine. We're good. We lived. Oh, bad RNG. So this is the frame rule boss fight. Basically that slime eye can split decides whether or not it wants to split every other frame. Also, we didn't really explain this, but a frame rule for this game is every other frame, and sometimes it's 1 every 4 frames depending on the trick, but either way, basically that fight is a coin toss on when it wants to split, because for some reason, they're like, yeah, let's make this fight a little random, but this time we're going to make it so it's cycle-based, and it can be really annoying when you're on really good pace, and it just doesn't want to split.
Yeah, apparently that boss only has a problem like that with frame rules when you have the piece of power. If you don't have the piece of power, it splits normally, like immediately.
Yeah.
But only with piece of power is it ever a problem.
Yeah, or a red tunic, but that doesn't really apply to here.
Yeah, so I mentioned earlier, by the way, that bomb triggers would save us time later on in the run. Well, it's about to save us a lot of time.
Several minutes.
We're about to do a trick called Walrus Skip, which actually is a little bit of a misnomer because we don't necessarily skip the walrus. We just skip the prerequisites for the walrus to get the heck off the screen. So it's more like Marin date skip, if you will. You'll notice that Astra is also taking damage there because we're gonna death warp after this trick.
Yeah. Also, I got a nice bomb drop, which is really good.
Yeah, but what Astra needs to do here is do a bomb trigger on the side of this screen here into the next screen.
Oh. It's fine. Alright, so yeah.
There we go. And this is the part that's really particular as well, since she needs to leave the screen on exactly the same frame that the cutscene here is meant to start. Otherwise, you soft lock the game. And this is only because we have Bow Wow for some reason. I don't know exactly why.
So it's because of like how the game reads partners. So normally you'd have Marin, and the cutscene ends when Marin leaves the screen, or whatever your partner is leaves the screen. And because Bow Wow is attached to you, he can't leave the screen unless you do. So you basically never gain control of your movement, and because you leave the screen before the cutscene ends, it still has you in the cutscene state, so you have to change submaps or die, or else you basically are stuck. Fun little thing.
And so that is why we death warped. So fun fact, actually, in the no save and quit run, which we do have a variant here called no save and quit, it's faster to enter the cave to the right of where that Landmola fight was. By the way, that was the Landmola fight.
Yeah.
Hope you enjoyed that. You just fire 2 arrows into nothing and he's dead. Essentially, you kill him before he spawns. But if you enter that cave and then exit, it serves the same purpose. But doing that would set a save point for there instead of where we want it, west of Animal Village.
Yeah. And we want it specifically at that little cave there as opposed to one of the houses because that's just closer to the Armos maze. Which, yes, we are doing pretty early on into the game. But, you know, I'm confident I can do these hard dungeons first. It's fine. So this is the Armos thing. I'm going to focus for a moment. Okay. So basically, we can kill the Armos Knight without actually having to do anything crazy. We can just dash into the Armos Knight and set up a little stun lock. I wasn't close enough to get like the full stun lock, but it's pretty close to it.
Honestly, not dying to Armos Knight is a good fight.
Yeah.
to be honest with you.
Couple seconds lost is whatever at this point. Wow, Bow Wow is just eating so many Armos. What? I think I have 9 arrows right now.
Hungry.
10 arrows, and I think I duped that one. I have 11 arrows. What? This never happens.
Yeah, that's plenty. So ordinarily, like, I think I'm happy at this point when I enter Dungeon 6 with, like, 6 arrows or more.
Yeah, 5's the minimum. You can.
Yeah, this is luxurious.
I could.
So
oh,
now
I'm not.
We're doing a trick right now to enter Dungeon 6 earlier than we're supposed to. So we don't have the flippers. So we're doing a trick here called Jesus jumping. It is called Jesus jumping because you basically land and can jump off of the water or transition off of the water like so.
Yeah.
And yeah, the tech is a lot more intensive leaving this dungeon later on. We will get to that when we come to it.
Hello? Oh, okay.
Okay, this time Bow Wow's not hungry.
Thank you, Bow Wow. So yeah, normally we manipulate him to eat the cutscene, but apparently he just didn't want to eat. Which can happen very, very rarely. Yeah, this is Dungeon 6.
Yeah. That probably sounded ridiculous to anybody who doesn't know this speed game, but yeah, Bow Wow can eat cutscenes because when you use an item and it disappears on screen, it manifests as a sort of dead sprite, if you will, and it actually like becomes the cutscene, and Bow Wow can eat it.
Yeah.
And you can regain control of Link. It's super weird, but it saves time.
Oh yeah, so by the way, we just skipped the entire ghost quest now by getting that one item. Because, so normally if you're playing the game casually, after you finish Dungeon 4, you'll have this whole sequence of the game where you have to take a ghost to their house, and then you have to take them to their grave, and then they're constantly talking, and it's annoying and slow. But, that's tied to the surf harp, or the level 2 bracelet for some reason. This is not gonna work, but yeah, too high up. But yeah, so basically we do Dungeon 6 super early so that we can basically do Dungeon 4 in one go, which means 1, we don't have to do the ghost quest, and 2, that means that we don't have to split Dungeon 4 like we did for a really long time. Thanks to the power of Jesus jumping.
Alright, so behold, the only chest in the game that you can open by throwing a pot at it. In fact, you are forced to throw a pot at that chest to open it.
Yeah.
And now we do some fancy little super jumps here to break Dungeon 6 wide the heck open.
Yeah, who needs to go to the left side at all? But yeah, we basically just skipped the entire dungeon doing that, and the mini-boss, which thank God, because the Smasher is so annoying. But what is annoying that we can't skip is horse heads.
Yeah, so this route basically involves going backwards through this portion of D6, and unfortunately we cannot eliminate these rascals from the route. Or we can, it's just not as fast, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So yeah, we have to deal with horsehead RNG. You have a 1 in 4 chance to have both of them land upright. So in other words, about a 1 in 10 chance.
Yeah.
That's it. That's
more like a 1 in a million. Feels like half the time, because when you're on good pace, you never actually get them to stand up, and it's like, you're like, oh wow, I'm on 3-0x pace. That's so good. And then it's like, nope, you're actually on 3-2x pace. So this is Facade. This fight functions definitely, most definitely, yep. So what we can do is we can place 3 bombs before he even spawns, and because his hitbox exists during those, like that early period of the fight, we can skip 3 whole cycles that way. And then that's Dungeon 6.
Yeah, Facade. It's actually incredible. Facade's legacy is not a very impressive one throughout the Game Boy Zeldas.
Only functions in one game, and in that one game, he gets obliterated.
Yeah, he functions in one fight in Oracle of Seasons as well, but in another fight, he's basically exactly the same as what you just saw there.
Yeah.
He appears twice, and in one of the fights, he's useless, and the other one, he's actually he can be a run ender, which is cool.
Weird fight to have as a run ender too. Okay. Need to focus a bit. A lot of 3 buffers here. A lot of 3 buffers. Okay, so not the best Jesus jumps, but I made it though. So each Jesus jump is frame perfect, so it can be hard to get every single one of them first try, or 1 buffer.
Yeah, one thing that I'm not sure we mentioned is that buffering is actually super, super easy in this game. So upon unpausing, you can just hold start again, and it will immediately buffer exactly 1 frame every time.
Yeah.
So really the difficulty there is just optimizing it. So like it's not actually, by the way, bonks.
The bonks.
The bonks. It's not just so it's not actually getting it, it's more optimizing it that's challenging. Unless you're late on it, in which case you'll drown and start the screen over again. But the buffering system in this game is really, really nice and makes tricks like that a whole lot easier.
It's just annoying when you want to go fast and you want to get 1 buffers and then you just end up wasting 4 seconds on 3 buffers, which, yeah, each menu is about 2 seconds of time loss each time for extra buffers. It's actually a little less than that. What's up?
You forgot where to go.
Oh, yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, we're kidding. I'm kidding. So she entered there just to set a save point. Just like earlier with Madame Meow's house, except this one saves a little bit more time.
10 seconds. Or, well, closer to 8 in this category, and 100% it saves a bit more.
In other words, you forgot where to go.
Yeah. But it's fine.
No big deal. Yeah. Happens.
It happens. Hey, at least I remembered to open Dungeon 4.
True.
It happens to literally
Very, very
everyone.
true.
Every new runner of this game will at some point in their career forget to open up Dungeon 4 and be like, oh wow, I'm on massive gold pace, and then they get to the screen and they're like, why is there water here?
Yep, new runners, runners that have been running since 2016. What's the difference?
Yeah.
Right?
All very forgetful people. We're human. Very, very flawed.
Yes, so here's Dungeon 4, and Dungeon 4 gets broken open as well by Jesus jumping. So we get the flippers in this dungeon, but before we get the flippers, we can do stuff like this. We can land on the water above this tile, above this broken block tile here. And what Jesus jumping actually does, also this jump breaks the dungeon open as well.
Yeah.
What Jesus jumps actually do is they move you a pixel downward. So you can actually just clip into that block. Also, nice frame perfect Jesus jump there.
Yeah.
So you don't have to use a bomb or an arrow to break that block first. It saves about a second if you get a first try, but more importantly, it saves an arrow and a bomb.
Yeah. That's the main reason why I do it. It's just because our bomb and arrow route is usually pretty tight. I say usually because I got like a ton of arrows, but like on average, you're not going to have that many arrows.
Yeah. And fancy little super jumps here.
Yep.
Nicely done. Perfect.
That's actually a lot harder than it looks, because basically you're doing what you normally do for Dodongo skip, and then immediately doing another super jump into a hat clink. That's like actually kind of precisely timed as well, so it's like, it's deceptively easy looking, but like it's deceptively hard. It looks easy, very hard to pull off.
And then we have the hardest boss in the game immediately following it.
Yeah.
Potter.
That was actually a pretty good Dungeon 4.
Not bad at all.
Really
I
solid.
think it's just like one extra buffer, but that's one extra buffer on the first block. But yeah, that's still really,
and then I got a bad tile room pattern, but I played it pretty well.
Yeah, very solid Dungeon 4.
So yeah, now we have like a minute plus of dead air here, so if you have any donations or anything to say, you can say it now.
I should say it now, ta very much. I will do indeed. Remember, folks, we are fast paced for Headspace here, and we are raising money for Take This. a charity that is focusing on mental health in the gaming industry and to gaming enthusiasts. Just want to let you know as well that last donation that put us up to the 246969, nice, did actually put their donation towards Roy Koopa in the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe character choice. So right now, Roy Koopa is beating Waluigi and Donkey Kong by a few dollars. It is 59 versus 55 versus 50 in favor of Roy. So if you want to change that and see which character our Mario Kart 8 Deluxe runner is going to be using, please do keep your donations coming in.
I like the Koopalings. That's a good choice.
Yeah.
I like that.
Alright, so now time for the best dungeon in the game. Well, people would like to debate that, but in my opinion, it's best dungeon in the game, Dungeon 5. It is probably one of the most winding dungeons in terms of just dungeon layout, but it has some of the sickest movement in the entire run, because it's... To be very transparent, it's a very difficult dungeon to optimize because there are so many rooms that you have to master and know the exact movement for, but once you get it down, it is so incredibly fun.
It's funny because I think in this category, in the no rung warp, no out of bounds category, I think it's one of the best, if not the best dungeon. But
yeah,
in no save and quit, I think it's one of the worst.
Yeah, but I think that's also because of the stress of having to manage piece of power the entire time.
Exactly why, yeah, exactly.
And then in 100%, there's a trick that's basically just a coin flip, and it sucks. But in this category, it is so fun because the only real RNG is in some enemy patterns, but it's all reactable. Really nice.
Yep. So the main thing of this dungeon is this fight right here, Master Stelphos. Master Stelphos has the hook shot. We need to beat him 4 times to get it. So yeah, the game makes you do the same exact fight basically 4 times. But that first time, we actually did something we probably are not supposed to be able to do, and that's kill Master Stelphos on the very first one. So you might have noticed that the boss music, or the mini boss music, kept playing after that fight. That's because the game doesn't actually expect you to kill him, and it doesn't really know what to do. But we get a key from it, and that key actually comes in very handy later on in the routing of this dungeon.
Yeah, and then coming up on one of 2 glitches in this entire dungeon. Just a little super jump here that you don't even need to do. It's just faster and saves a menu. Now we're gonna be coming up on a pretty cool jump here. It's called well, people call it dumb jump, but I think it's pretty, not very dumb. It's kind of precise, but really fun to do. Except for when you dash off.
I like to call it 4-tile boots jump abusing in between tiles.
I like that.
Yeah, it rolls right off the tongue.
Yeah, and also, kind of a fun little principle of that, if you saw, when I accidentally dashed off both times, Link went very far into those pits, and that's because while Link is in between tiles on pits, and you keep holding down, Link will keep falling down until he falls into the pit, and so we can abuse that to basically get our normally 3 maximum dash jump length and basically force ourselves down to make it to the bottom there without using the hook shot. And now, speaking of the hook shot, we finally have it.
Yeah, so if you see like big pits in this game, like huge holes in the floor, those are still made up of individual tiles, and you can only really fall into the middle of each of those tiles. That is a point of contention later as well during a trick that we do after this dungeon. Right here, you'll see Astra actually jump into this pit here, and then go ahead and use the hook shot. That's what makes that possible. And again, the fact that we can do that as well also comes into play in a very short amount of time.
Yeah, and also that's called the hookshot clip. If you are clipped between 2 hookshotable objects and spam the hookshot, game doesn't know where to place Link, so it just keeps forcing him through until he's into a solid open area. Now time for one of the most jank fights in the game, the slime eel. Way worse than 100% if you're using red tunic. It can spawn in one of 4 places.
Yep, it's basically just react to where he spawns and then pull him out, and wow, that was like a frame late.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, really weird positions. Best RNG is if you get double top spawns, because you can get 5 hits and then you can get a quick 3 hit and you're right at the door. Yeah, that's Dungeon 5.
I saw that on like I have like the main stream up as well, and I saw it on the main stream like 10 seconds later, and yeah, that was like a frame late. I don't know how to pull it.
Yeah. I'm just that good. Just that
frame
good.
Perfect.
Frame perfectly. Yeah.
All right, so we are coming up on pretty much the trick in this game. It's a bit infamous. There is a way to make it easier. However, it is fastest to do it more aggressively without buffering. It's called Rooster Skip. Rooster Skip involves something called hookshot jumping. What hookshot jumping is so you notice that when Astra, I did point out in Dungeon 5 that you can actually use the hookshot while like hovering over a pit or like on an in between 2 pit tiles. You can actually use the hookshot while in midair, essentially. So that is important because we can use the hookshot, and then once the hookshot retracts back to us, the frame on which it does completely, you can actually jump off of the air. It is frame perfect. You have to do it exactly the frame it gets back to you. And we are about to do that twice over the pit that we're supposed to use the rooster for. So getting the rooster involves, well, first off, getting the ocarina, which, by the way, we don't get in this run at all. It involves learning the Frog Song of Soul, going to Mabe Village, uncovering the rooster statue, or moving the rooster statue to get to the rooster, bringing the rooster back to life, and then going all the way back up to Telltale Heights and floating over the pit very slowly with the rooster. We are not going to do any of that. Instead, we're just going to go right there and do 2 quick hookshot jumps. So it's technically a double frame perfect trick.
Yeah.
And failing it loses about 20 or so seconds, depending on how much time you spend to fail it. But we're not going to fail it here.
Yeah, what's funny is that like the trick when it originally was found in 2006 was like, oh, nice 30-second time save, and now it's like several minutes of time save just because of how the routes worked out.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. Stay away, Bow Wow. Okay, I'm gonna buffer that. Oh, please. I'll just buffer it, it's fine. This is a solid buffered anyways. Alright, so I got it. I just decided to buffer it just because I was already on a weird subpixel, so how pits work also is they can work off of your subpixel, and you can sort of notice based on how Link reacts while on a pit to see roughly where your subpixel is. And if you have a bad subpixel, then you just don't want to risk it too much because you'll almost always fall the next time you land onto the pit. So I just decided to play it a little safe there.
Yeah, that was a smart decision, I think.
Yeah, and Bao is also in a really weird spot. I didn't want to risk that either. Rooster Skip is like a very... Like, it seems simple on the surface on what you need to do, but there's a lot of complexities to, like, your decision-making during the trick itself that can completely change how you do it. Like, which way do you use the hook shot based on where Bow Wow is? Because Bow Wow can clink the hook shot. What risks do you take during it? Is it worth losing, like, 4 seconds to buffering one of them, you know? Stuff like that.
Yeah, it's worth noting that the first time she buffered, it was actually frame perfect buffer. Yeah. You won't, in order to 100% buffer that. By the way, Bow Wow ate that cutscene.
Yep.
There we go. Thanks, Bow Wow.
Thank you.
In order to frame perfectly buffer, or in order to like consistently buffer to a point where it always works, you open map screen, or you open the save and quit screen when God, I'm losing my words.
The hook shot?
Yeah, when the hook shot touches Link's nose, basically, and then you buffer a map. That's how you do it.
Yeah, so...
By the way, we just destroyed Dungeon 7 with...
Yeah, hey, who needs a giant metal ball when you can just use your own demolition tools? Ah, wow, okay. Nothing happened. Nothing happened. Hey, so this is the start of Dungeon 7. You can do a little super hop here. Kinda cool. You can basically delay your super jump to get less height off of it and make jumps that are a little bit tighter, which is really cool. And then what we're gonna do here is... Oh, hey, there's no pillars. Wow, that's so crazy. You know, I'm just that good. I just make it so that the pillars just disappear. It's so great. It's so great.
If it makes you feel any better, I was typing something in chat, so I literally did not see that.
Yeah. Nothing happened. So, oh hey, we just knocked down the singular pillar in Dungeon 7 with bomb triggers, and then we're just gonna move on. Perfect.
All right, so upcoming, upcoming is Goomba Surf. So we do a super jump from a pixel perfect Y position and land on a Goomba, and because we land on the Goomba, our no clip state is actually prolonged until we actually reach this upper platform. And hopefully we don't get the 35 try Goomba. There we go.
Fourth try, so that's like average. It's a 1 in 4 trick, but it, again, like Horseheads, it's like maybe 1 in a million.
Yeah.
So now, you may have noticed, like back when we did Rooster Skip, I did a save and quit. That wasn't just as a safety save, that was because of what's about to happen next.
Yeah, so basically saving quitting, I think, refreshes something in the RAM, which actually makes this possible. It makes you able to hook shot downwards through the HUD, just like Astra is doing right now.
And then screen wrap kill the boss.
Yeah, and just like basically instantly kill Eagle with very little effort.
Nice, frame perfect. Heart container grab.
Is that faster than letting it fall?
I think it's same speed, but I like getting the hook shot out first. Because yeah, hook shot comes out and comes back at the same speed, but I like to have it set up so I can just hold down left the whole time. Yeah, that's Dungeon 7. The most broken dungeon in the entire game.
Yeah. Yeah, that dungeon, like, that dungeon can take, like, on the low side of, like, just over 2 minutes, like, just under, like, 2:15 or so.
Yeah. Yeah, it can take, like...
I think Astra's gold is, like, 2:08 or something.
2:07.
2:07.
Yeah, which is, like,
Excuse
perfect Goomba Surf, perfect bomb triggers, really solid movement. It's crazy. What's funny is that in Glitchless, that dungeon's like 4 minutes, but that's like with already like developed tricks and stuff like that for Glitchless. So it's like, and like older routes, like that dungeon's like 6 minutes long.
Also by Marin.
By Marin. Yeah, you can, apparently they just allowed you to jump on that little tile there, and then you can just skip Marin. And that saves a lot of time, which is really nice.
Alright, so be prepared for Bow Wow to do some wacky stuff, by the way, on these next few screens.
Oh, there he goes.
Especially the transitions. There he goes.
There he goes. Oh.
Whee!
Whee!
Yeah, so the game never actually expects you to have Bow Wow while up here, and it shows.
It shows. So this is Flame Cave Skip. We can just run through that little flame geyser without the level 2 shield, and then we can just keep going, because the power of wall clipping. Basically, if you're wall clipping, yeah, you just need to hold up, right, and then up, and that's it. Yep. But yeah, basically, like, if you're clipped into a wall, you can't take knockback. Well, if you're fully clipped into a wall, you can't take knockback. and then you can just abuse
Also,
that.
Really intense turtle fight.
Yeah. Even, that's not even a glitch, by the way. The hitbox just doesn't exist. It's wondrous. So now,
Alright.
I did a little trick earlier in Dungeon 5. Wow, okay. Thank you, video game. Thank you so much. Okay, so I did a trick in Dungeon 5 as more of an optimization. That was called a book shot. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to set this up. Equip hook shot, hold down and jump on the same frame along with hook shot while it's on the B button, and then I'll get like a kind of a zip while doing that, and I'll have enough speed to get pushed through that key block and then enter the stairs. That's also just a faster version of a hook shot launch anyways, because basically you move faster when you get back, so it's really nice.
Yep, that was Blano. Bye, Blano.
Yeah, so that's what you get for bringing boxing gloves to a sword fight. So yeah, now we got the magic rod. Probably one of the most broken items in the game in terms of like casual. It's got the highest base attack power, generally speaking. Boomerang is the only one that really rivals it, though Boomerang is more of a situational tool than the magic rod, which is pretty much universal on all enemies and bosses, and it comes out faster.
Also, we just did a trick there called Lava Swim. Essentially, it's a Jesus Jump transition, except with a sword buffer to correct your subpixel, and Asher got it framed perfectly there, so that was really good.
Yeah. Kind of think of it like fake flippers in A Link to the Past, where the game doesn't really know what liquid you're on, so you just are able to swim in the lava, because they basically just reuse the code for lava and water. Because this is the Game Boy Color game, and they probably had very limited RAM to work with.
Yeah. So this puzzle right here, you just need to like fill in each hole in the floor with a continuous motion with the lava Roomba, as we call it. Except it's not actually on lava this time. It's just on.
It's just
air.
a Roomba.
Yeah, it's just an air Roomba.
So now it's time for
Imagine.
the dumbest boss in the game, Hothead. Yay! I actually get a top spawn for once. This is great. Wow, a one cycle.
Nice. Good going. That's awesome.
So this fight is obnoxious. So Hothead has a lot of really weird properties with regards to his hitbox and how he takes damage. So he has to be moving, he has to be on certain parts of the screen, and you can't perfectly stun lock him or else he doesn't die. So you have to space out your shots in a very specific way so that you can kill him in one cycle like that. And if he spawns in the bottom, that's even harder because you basically are foregoing an entire part of that cycle. And it can be really annoying. Also, nice deload. So yeah, in the original Link's Awakening, you can use magic rod shots to deload rooms. In this one, we can't really do that, but if we can abuse our like falling, our like ledge fall to basically duplicate a bunch of magic rod shots, and it's more of a fun visual thing. But we can just do that to get rid of all of the enemies in that room.
Alright, so now we're back in Dungeon 2 as well, now that we have our overpowered items for this area, and you'll see pretty quickly why this saves time. This room is really cool.
No.
Oh, what?
Link
Link even made the downward animation. That's bogus.
That's bogus.
You got the frame perfect turn.
There.
Once again, the frame perfect miss.
Frame perfect miss. It's becoming a trend.
Game is kind of cruel, actually.
Oh, I messed up my menu again. It's fine. It's fine. Okay.
Yeah. So the most obvious part where having boots saves time here is this particular is these underground screens right here, where ordinarily you have to like use a pot to weigh yourself down. And yeah, we don't have to do that anymore.
Yeah.
Weigh
Also, my
yourself down
menu
on
is
those
completely
platforms
mangled.
and they go down very slowly.
Yeah. So I guess good time to mention this, but this entire run I've been following basically an entire script in my menu so that I know exactly where everything is, and because I didn't do what I was used to, I messed up my menu, so now we're just improvising the menu from here on out. Oh yeah, also if you pick up the pot, then clip into the wall, game doesn't really know what to do, so it basically just breaks the pot, and then you can just one cycle the genie and just plant some fire in the corner and then gone.
Luckily, it's late enough in the run where you only have like 3 more menus or something.
Yeah, honestly,
so it's
like, I won't miss menu in most places, or I'll know exactly how to deal with it, but it's in situations like that where it's like, oh, kind of foreign. Can't really react to that, so I just kind of make it as manageable as possible. Wow, okay. So now we're going to talk to this owl that you're supposed to talk to at the beginning of the game, but no one cares, so we're just going to pass through here, and then we're just going to do another bomb trigger, because what's a better item for playing music than bombs?
Well, we've already done it once this run. We're going to do it again.
Yeah. Alrighty, so now time for basically complex land in Link's Awakening. So, first things first, we're going to be doing the egg path, which is the same if you don't read the book, which is left, left, up, right, right, up, left, and then up. And then we're going to be opening with a bomb trigger on the nightmare fight, which will skip the text, and then that's going to carry over into a manipulation, which we're going to be doing on the Nightmare Zol, which will allow us to kill it with our sword. And then we're going to carry that over into a manipulation for Aghanim. Oh. Okay. I really mashed away 7 bombs. But it's fine, because I did a slash manipulation, so we're good.
You know, I was wondering. I felt like mentioning. Think you can mash away all 7 of these bombs?
Yeah, I've mashed away 8 before, so I'm confident I can mash away those bombs.
Astra is pretty nuts at mashing.
So yeah, I'm gonna be standing in very specific positions here to make it so I only get energy balls. Nice. And now time for Moldorm. Yep. So satisfying.
Yeah, Astra's just unlock kill. Basically just stand there and unleash your spin slash at the right time and mash.
Yeah, it's so satisfying after what he does in literally every run.
In Dungeon 1. Now we have the Landmola phase, which is
okay.
a phase, technically.
It sure is a phase.
Go.
Now time for Death Eye. This is the one part of the fight that is completely random. You can just randomly decide to open its eye, and it can be really annoying.
Yeah, so this is really, like, if you do the manipulation correctly, this is really the only part of the whole fight that is RNG dependent. And it really is.
Yep. Wow, okay. If I didn't mess up my mashing or my arrow timing, that was literally a perfect Death Eye. Blinking the whole time even bailed me out.
And with 0 arrows to spare.
With 0 arrows to spare, yeah.
And no bombs either.
And no bombs. It's perfect.
Marathon
0-0
safe.
and time.
Good stuff.
That was great.
Yeah, nice job. Good run.
Yeah. So yeah. I guess some quick shoutouts. Shoutouts to Tej for commentating this run with me. Shoutouts to Fast Pace for Headspace and all the people working on it for this amazing marathon. I can speak words.
No, don't be fooled. It's a marring.
Yeah, it's a marring. It's a marring. It's an marring marathon. And then shoutouts to the Link's Awakening Discord and community. So if you want to learn this game, you can join it and learn it. And it's fun. We also have the remake and the original version, all with pretty good guides to get you started, and everyone is happy to help. So yeah, without further ado, I think that is all from me. Thank you so much for watching, and enjoy the rest of the marathon.
Very much. Yep, we are going to get ourselves set up for our next run here. We're going to take a quick break while we get everything all set up, so we'll see you back for the second part of The Legend of Zelda block.